Okay, first one, and let me know if I'm clear now. I'm having Wi-Fi issues or something. Peace and wisdom denotes. Can you let me know if I'm clear, please, brother? My mic be acting up sometimes. Okay, I'm working now. Unreal. Now I'm gonna start in the 2.5 minute mark. If any of you guys have questions, ask now. And make sure I hear that cash app or cashing. No, upload it now. Oh my god, I gotta stop playing with y'all. I be forgetting. Some people really, obsessed and sick in the head. You a channel member. You can give back if you like. But you're already a channel member. I'm speaking. Yeah, okay, you got a sense of humor. This is how y'all are. I don't think y'all get it. That's why I'm doing that. Cause this is kind of how y'all are. Meaning, I'll tell y'all, y'all have to give back. Y'all can't just come back repeatedly taking advantage. That's not a good look. And it's unnecessary. Y'all will reword it, change it around, get all lost in y'all ego like my brain belong to y'all. Never taking accountability. Like, hold on, we don't own him. And that's why I kind of said that to you. Like, don't do it now. But overall, y'all need to get all of that together. I'm grown. Y'all need to grow up as well. Outside of that, stop rewording things and just deal with what was said. And you get my point? If you have to reword things or, kind of change the context of whatever it is I say, then you get my point. You got to just be honest with yourself. And so for all of y'all that be spreading those narratives and trying to convince people about this free and that free and all of this weird stuff, there's nothing free in life. There's help, there's assistance, but this is a once or twice thing or ever so often. It's not an everyday repeated abuse. And a lot of y'all like that, not just here, probably in your own real life. A person help you, then when they tell you they can't help you no more, you get my point? You kind of become a burden. Now y'all got beef. Meaning a lot of y'all in life right now, you have beef with people because they don't want to help you no more. And they already did. You get my point? It become a back and forth and a whole weird thing, but it's really just you. They kind of done with you, and that's that. A lot of y'all suffering from that. I don't know how that happens. Like, I guess it's the animalistic nature of man. If you feed animals, they will follow you around. And if you don't feed them if you don't feed the animals after they follow you around, they'll try to attack you. But they animals, they don't they don't know no better. And you get my point? Some of y'all kind of have that nature about self in that And that, you start kind of becoming a bum in mind, not realizing it. Life is a balance. Life is about everybody maturing, getting to a place of holding their own weight, things of that nature. These are things that y'all supposed to learn as children. So if you're a young parent, meaning if you're young and you have, a newborn, maybe a 2-year old, 3-year old, even a 6-year old, it may be a little too far along if you're starting at 6, but you get my point? You want to start as soon as they can speak and kind of teach them that life is balanced and, get them accustomed to like always holding their own weight when they're able to. Otherwise, your child gonna be a victim, kind of like, kind of having that victim mentality where if they could prove somebody did them wrong, then they prove, some of y'all like that, you know what I mean? But that come from that, like your peoples ain't take the time out to kind of teach you, like, carry your own, clean up your own shit, and you get my point? And solid out, especially if you a man. I also want to say this to the young women, and then I'll get into some deep scholarship. Y'all are putting yourselves out there like gold diggers, but then not understanding why y'all can't get no man. When I was younger, gold diggers, they hid their gold digging intentions. In the daytime, y'all put out on Front Street, if a nigga ain't taking care of me and blah, blah, you get it? Once you put that on Front Street, why would you think anybody in their right brain would be like, oh yeah, I want her? These is things you're supposed to hide. Like I said, the gold digger of old, they knew they craft. And today times, you get my point. Y'all just talk. A lot of women, you talk online talk, bad girls clubs talks, loving hip hop talk. You got the talk down packed, but that ain't how you really are. And that, you get my point? Y'all are limiting yourselves. More than that, you get my point? You can't put, if you're gonna be a gold digger or have the mindset of one, the mindset of a gold digger is an unfair mindset. The dude gonna pay for her, and that's that. But she not gonna never reveal that. You ask a gold digger, if you ask a gold digger how she feel about relationships, she gonna be like, you get it? She's a master of what she does. So she gonna be like, no, I'm gonna take care of him. She gonna, some of y'all don't get it. Like I said, the gold diggers of old, they knew they craft. They was gonna tell you everything that did sound too good to be true. But this is what made for a sucker. He gonna buy into what he knows sound too good to be true. And this is how gold diggers moved in the past, meaning they said everything against their intentions. Like, they lined it up perfect. And so a lot of y'all chicks that want to be gold diggers, y'all need to come see me so I can, teach you how this goes. You just pay me back in vagina. No. I'm just kidding. Pay back in vagina. Vagina, mouth, vagina. I'm just playing. Y'all gotta get y'all sense of humor together. You can't get wise and be angry. Angry and wise don't go together. You're just putting that out there. Bad attitude and wisdom, it doesn't really go together. So you make sure you check yourself, for those things. Mio Akbar said, like the city girls. I'm not sure if you're talking about a television show or, girls from the city. I'm older, so I'm not in tune with, the things y'all into. I don't really know the new shows. Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure what you are speaking about. But if you are, yeah, if you're, what's up, if you're a woman or whoever you are, you're not gonna get anything that you want in an unfair way. So kind of just keep that in mind. I know that ain't what you want to hear, probably. Meaning, if you a gold digger, you get my point? Nothing ain't gonna come good out of unfair. So if you in a relationship with somebody, a friendship, whatever that the case may be, you get my point? You want to keep things balanced as you can if a thing matter to you, because you gonna lose it. And like I said, these is things y'all should have learned as children. I know we live in a time where, you get my point, y'all parents probably throw y'all in front of a video game or something like that. And I ain't judging. I'm just telling y'all what y'all should have known, on y'all own right. And that you take it and you kind of apply that to self. Like I said, if you got young children, you want to kind of start instilling that in them now, you know? That way they grow to be, dependent, an assistant to you, if anything, and not dead weight, and having that imbalanced mind and that trying to get over mind and manipulating to get over. That's all a poverty, meaning that's all a stagnance, good time, not spent well. And so take heed to what I'm saying on the real accord, meaning if you young and you got young children, you got to try to keep things as balanced as you can. I'm not saying to an extreme. I know a lot of you guys, y'all are extremely unbalanced. So you're going to be the ones that go into all the little stupid, dumb stuff where you try to make everything in exchange. Like, if they gave me a quarter last week, I got to give them back. You get it? We're not talking about extreme, stupid stuff, but we speaking of balance. And so things gonna work good the more balanced you can keep things. So those of y'all that's in relationships and y'all having little issues in y'all relationships, it's a matter of balance. When I say balance, I'm speaking of fair. It's a matter of that. Any problems that anybody's having right now in regards to another person, it's a matter of that. It's a matter of perspectives not being fair. A lot of y'all come here, you're not fair. You don't give back anything like that. And then when I start speaking on matters like this, you get my point? Your guilt kicks in, or whatever you like to call it, and then you lose the jewel in the point of what's being said, and you think this is about me and you. Like, I did a video where I explained your flaws become, your enemies. And I mean, like, in that way. You come here, you don't give back. Somehow we enemies to you in your mind, or you got some kind of disdain. But it all boil you back to, a moment that you don't want to acknowledge of your being unfair. And so all wars and anything you could think about is that. Israel and Palestine at war right now, and it all got to do with what I just said. Abusing fair. And you get my point? We live in the times like that where y'all are learning to be unfair. It's almost a trend. In that, you get my point? The relationships is all damaged. And it's like I said, when I was younger, we learned these things. I ain't trying to, kill y'all with it. But when I was younger, we came up, we learned a lot of manners and a lot of balance. Of course, when I was growing up, there was a lot of people in the household. Meaning, if your mama had sisters, and brothers, and they had children. So it'd be you, your siblings, and your cousins all in one house. And that, you get what I'm saying? They was gonna make sure you was fair because this started in the household. You playing with your cousins and you acting a goddamn fool. Like you gotta share and you gotta keep everything balanced. That was important. I remember that was something that was always drilled in people's head when I was young. It didn't matter where I went. I could have went to my friend's house, but you get it? That was kind of like the introduction, man. Y'all be fair with each other. You get my point? Y'all play nice. It was always something in those guidelines. And this is important in regards to like problems and wars and, all the conflict we see. It all got to do with that. People don't have a fair perspective, or they have an unreasonable perspective where it's like, that's not even reasonable. And so you get my point? A lot of y'all are there, and that happens from, emotions, internal bitterness. I look at it like, once you bitter, you no good for yourself or nothing. And so it's about cleansing the conscious and cleansing the emotional state. I'm sorry, is these rocks loud to y'all? I want to come over here and bury a whole body. Like, not to do that. I'm over here killing people. What is up, man? Kill people when I'm not over here. Y'all think I'm joking. It's loud, huh? Blood is cold blood digging a grave. I know y'all know I'm not joking, because I know like, I know y'all know what that was, a shovel. Blood is sitting here digging a whole grave like, me and my man that's fishing ain't just right here. He went to go get the body. You pulled up in, let me shut the fuck up. For it be a video. Silas was writing. Look. I'm about to tell y'all the whole color. Man, blood pulled up in the whole van. He pulling the body out. I'm about to move over because I ain't got nothing to do with this. I'm not with him. Cops pull up talking about you was a part. Nah. I ain't even see nothing. Gotta tell on my man over there fishing. He know everything. They pull up on me. I'm like, nah, he know everything. I just look over at him, like, point my head towards him, like, blah, he did it. Go get him. Go get him. As soon as they get up off me, I'm out. He said, I'm finna go. Y'all stupid. Salam. Now, where was I at? Oh, I was speaking about balance. And so when you come here for wisdom, please make sure, you always balance out your perspective. A lot of y'all be getting lost, and then you start abusing your own self. If you're going to be unfair in this life, I don't know how you're going to do that. In regards to, like, I was going to say, if you're going to be unfair, make sure you don't let your mind get unfair and tangled up where you kind of forget all you doing got to do with that. You ain't want to, honor one of your morals in a moment. But I don't even know if that's possible. Like, if you can be unfair and then your mind don't get tangled up. Because, once a point is made and you talk past that point, you get my point? This is the beginnings of the tangling up the mind, truly. And so we got to start thinking about our generations to come. Y'all be complaining about a lot of things with the young and how they dumb and, irrational and unreasonable in their ways. But then right at the same time, like simultaneously, y'all will go against y'all morals and things like that to tear down. So then it becomes confusing. You get it? You tell your kid, and if you want to hate on me, so then you say you'll go all out your way to try to make my saying give back and be balanced. You'll go all around the board to try to make that unjust in some kind of way. And then at the same time, tell your kid to be fair. They get scrambled. You get my point? The kid's gonna see everything y'all do, not so much the things y'all saying, cause you know the ears don't start working till the soul get old. The mouth work immediately. And the kids be making sounds and speaking baby talk, you know? That come before the brains even brain ain't even fully formed. They brain still mush. And they can make sounds. And so you get my point? That mouth work fast, but them ears don't start working till that soul get old. And you feel me? And some people ears just they ain't gonna work. They are my they are projection. You get my point? I ain't trying to hear nothing. It ain't about them hearing. And so you gotta start teaching y'all kids, you know, morals. Get some family values. Don't confuse the two, you know, family values and morals. Morals is just balance and honor. That's basically to say be fair and be honest. But we speaking about with the self first. You gotta be honest with yourself first in order to be fair. Otherwise, you just make fair whatever you want to make it in any moment. And that's the true test on the self. If the self is fair, anybody could be fair when they want to be. But can you be fair like a moral? Meaning even when you don't want to be, can you still honor your morals? And so like I said, morals is just two things, balance and honor. When you're looking at symbols that got to do with like duality, they just symbols that represent balance. I'm trying to think of that Japanese symbol. I forgot what it's called. It's black and white. It's like two circles bound. I forgot the name of it though. But all those things have to do with balance. But most people don't understand what balance mean. They think it mean like, you know, they don't understand fair. Some of y'all, yeah, the yin and yang sign. That sign is a sign that basically mean balance. It mean fair, like each side have equal proportions. It's like day and night, winter and summer. They have their balance because they get their fair share. Like in the summertime, the day is longer. And in the wintertime, the night is longer. And of course, when you're dealing with spring and fall, it balance out. It's equal. But life is that, a balancing thing. If a person can balance their life out perfectly, meaning get all situations, think of any situation you may have with someone, whether you're the one that's unfair or they are. If all the unfairs or all the imbalances in your life can be adjusted, then you get my point. You will no longer have any problems. And so look at it like that. You're here to just balance out. Maybe you can do that before you pass on. But if you're young, oh yeah, your brain working today, huh, Chanel X? Nah, I'm just playing. Your brain always be working. Make sure y'all teach y'all kids something for the generations to come, because it's getting worse and worse. You get my point? The older people not paying attention to themselves, and that, all that carry down. Y'all be getting full of envy. Y'all envy be a little cheap. You know, like I was explaining in the last video, the envy be a little cheesy. Slave master stuff in the slave. Like, the slave is envious over the overseer. Another slave, like, he's jealous of the house nigga. This is another slave. He's not jealous of the master's brother, the master's nephew. The slave is jealous over the other slave, meaning his envy is cheap. He could be envious of the slave master. No, he want to waste his envy. And black people carry that in the daytime. Y'all get to hating on one another. Y'all don't hate on like whoever's the ruler of this world. Y'all jealous of the dude up the block, like the dude around the corner. Y'all envious of people that been goofy, ain't never had a shot in life. If they get a little bit of attention, you jealous of that. You don't even want to beat them. You just reckless with your reckless with your envy. But more than that, the envy cheesy, man. Be envious of something that got powers, and you gotta explain these things to black people. Y'all flawed on flawed, like full of envy. Then the envy you got is all cheap and limited. Like, spread that. Hopefully y'all grasp what I'm saying, because it's a deep thing. Meaning, all other races, man, black people like the reverse. Everybody racist against another race, and black people racist against their own. Like, you get it? And every race hate the other race secretly, but black people the only race that hate their own. So we like the reverse. We like the white people, and everybody else is black. White people black. Everybody's colored, but black people white. Like, meaning we evil. We what white people used to do. They used to beef with their own all day. So like when the white people came to America, they start fighting over it. You know, this how white people get down. They be jealous and shit. They jealous of the next dirty white nigga that's sleeping in the grass. No, I want that grass too. Greedy and shit like that. So they over here fighting for America. It don't belong to none of them. You see the ego? Now, this how black people are. We carry all that slave master shit over. Here y'all are, cheesy ass jealousy. Yeah, jealousy all cheap. You hating on the next nigga. You hating on the slave Nick's left daughter. He the same as you. And I got that from white people. White people took black people's nature and identity and culture, and we took white people's, where we hate on each other and be jealous because the nigga got a little bit of better grass. Like, I want his grass. That Cain and Abel shit. It was white. Cain and Abel was white. If you lost and you say, no, they wasn't. They was white. White people keep history. Nobody else. Get real. Come on now. Get your brain together. Y'all are not writing down y'all history. A white nigga gonna tell y'all shit. They documenting whatever's happening. Again, black people documenting black people right now? No, y'all ain't. In that, you don't never have to question when you pick up a book. White! Are you high? They're white. Other than that, y'all be writing. Yeah, you get my point? Y'all don't even believe in reading. So, like, black people something else, man. They will tell you the writings in the book is about them forgetting. Hold up. When we start, right? When we start caring about our culture and shit like that, we too busy hating. Y'all ain't got time to y'all ain't got time to do shit. Yeah, we could be documenting, but we ain't doing too much of nothing but hating. So like, and it's like I said, this is y'all turn white. Yeah, like Stanley from Friday. Get off my grass, nigga. That nigga jealous because, you feel me? He all uppity because he got better grass. Like, they hating on Stanley grass. Keep walking across his grass. You feel me? Black people in they petty, cheap envy games. Like, oh, his grass is better than mine. Let me go walk across it for no reason. But get to the white man yard and be like, you better not step on that white man grass. That's how black people get down. They will encourage you to do something against your own. Then when they come to the white man, they be like, oh, you better not. I say if these niggas don't got slave hangover, then I don't know what slave hangover is. But y'all definitely got slave hangover. And y'all beating y'all kids like slave master used to do. A slave master used to beat the slaves because he don't care about them. He talked to his kids if they do something wrong, but he beat the shit out the slaves because you get it? Ain't no love there. Nigga, do what I said before I turn you upside down and cut your dick off and do some other bad things to you. Y'all do y'all kids like that, meaning the slaves seen the slave master discipline the slaves. And of course, you know, slave master had real ego, so slave master will make like a slave beat another slave. He say, I ain't about to put my hands on no nigga skin. Like, this is the ego of a slave of old. They was gangster. Blood say, man, I would beat your ass, but I don't want to get no nigga blood on me. Like, so then he like, hey, nigga, you beat this nigga for me. Like, the other nigga happy. Like, oh, I was my pleasure, boss. Get the beating on the other black nigga, all proud. That beating on him like a drum. Y'all still like that now? You go get your gun for that nigga up the block. The cops come, you put the gun down, put your hands up. You just shot that nigga. Why you don't shoot the cop too? I mean, shit, fair is fair. No, not black people. Nigga will shoot his own. Cop come, he put the gun down, put his hands up. I surrender, master. I say, man, all this slave hangover. All this jigaboo magic. All this jigaboo magic going on around here need to stop. I need to stop it. And so let's start with our envy. Meaning, since you niggas are so desperate to be negative, of course, black people was put on that vibration by slave master. It's all psychology, but black people don't read. They don't. These niggas is in a hocus pocus talk. Now bury your drawers in the yard, watch you won't. They into that. A white man had a god. Blood was beat up on a cross, had spit dripping off his face. Black people, the new white people. So they abusing people to believe in. They beat up white god with the spit dripping off his face. You don't see white people do that no more. White people got dreadlocks and shit like that, living off the land and nature. And black people, the new white people, running around in designer clothes talking about the Lord is your savior. That nigga dead on the cross, though. You beat up hanging off the cross with underwears on. Cut his dick off. And a dickless God with one eye. If you look at images of Jesus, always got hair, something covering one eye. He's the old one-eyed God that they was prophesying about, you know, the Antichrist. But people like to play dumb. But they got this old wretched mess, you know, spit dripping off the facial. No, like I already told y'all this too many times. I don't want to have to keep reiterating this. But since y'all don't learn, let's do it. White people came to America. They had this beat up God of old. When they came to America, it wasn't a man beat up on a cross yet. It was a damn donkey, a sheep or something like that. They ain't turned it into a man yet. That's later. And if you go back before that, the Alexamenos times, the God was a donkey on a cross, dead. The point I'm making is this beat up God on a cross started out as a damn donkey, became a Baphomet, which is a half a donkey and a half of a man. Then it became a whole man that they just called the lamb. They like, he ain't got, you dealing with man, he ain't got to make sense. Man don't care if you don't make sense. And this was white people God. A crazy Puerto Rican Jesus with the spit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. A crazy Jesus is the God that black people run around here arguing like the white man used to do. And so I'll say it again, black people, the new white people, they just don't get it. And white people slowly black. And a white man gonna tell me the other day, hip hop hooray. I said, blood, shut the what is you doing, man? Nigga, nobody even listen to that no more. Get out of here with that. Now they be trying to be down. And they're coming up all off brand. Who got cocaine? Spitting all in your face. Like, blood, I know you a cop. You don't know no code words for cocaine, man. You just gonna ask for cocaine straight out. You know, if you black and you from the ghetto, there's a whole bunch of code words. White girl, all kind of stuff, you know. The sniffles. Pull up asking you the wrong things. Who got cocaine? Spitting all in your face. You like, blood, you got to be. You got to be a judge. You ain't even a cop. You got to be something even dumber than that. You just said the wrong. You said the wrong thing. Be mindful. That's all I could say. Meaning black people need to rewind back and realize that slavery was a psychological thing more than anything. You get lost on all the beatings up and the feet's getting chopped off. Good stories. But overall, don't overlook all the psychological attacks that was happening then and still are. Because they have you niggas in La La Land right now. You got black people stuck complaining about the same shit they complain about every generation. That's why I always tell y'all, you can't be a victim, you got to be valiant. I'm sitting around here thinking y'all victim stories gonna win y'all an award. That's how black people become. They think they could prove if somebody did them wrong. It wouldn't even matter who it is. Usually it's another black person because that's all they focus on right now. Meaning we've been set on a course of self-destruction, but y'all don't want to pay no attention to that because every individual black person want to get overcame by their emotions. Yeah, slavery was a choice. It's called stupidity. Y'all view slavery like a movie. Y'all don't view slavery like they just was bringing economics and an economy here. Meaning America was a rainforest for the most part still. It ain't had nothing developed here. And so people from Europe, it was developed in Europe. They had stores and all of that. People wearing regular clothes and shit like how we wear now. And so when they came here, they was just civilizing the continent. And it's just a work thing. You get it? During those times, you could buy and sell people. So when people come in here, they looking to steal people, steal crops, steal whatever they can so they could bring it back to their country where their stores and stuff at and sell it. You got people coming here killing hella animals for their hides because they going to sell it to the fur coat companies over in Europe. They gonna steal a few pygmy, indigenous people, short little brown slave. Well, not slaves, but indigenous people before they made slaves. They gonna steal a few of them, kidnap them. They gonna trade them off. You get my point? It's all economics. It's all business. They doing this right now in the Amazon rainforest. And you get my point? And we get lost on all the abuse and all of that. The slave talk and the victim talk, and that's all meant to be like that for a reason. So that, we can have a victim's mentality generation after generation after generation. And you truly can't accomplish nothing to succeed at anything when you have that victim mentality. And so you get my point? Don't overlook the psychological attacks because those is the main ones. that's carrying over generation after generation. And it's getting better and better. I see this fool's comment, if any of y'all was wondering. It popped up already. He's just stupid. But like I said, it's like a snowball thing. It gets better and better. You get it? It play more and more of an effect as the generations go on and it don't get corrected. And that we become like completely victim-minded. And that most of y'all are looking to, like, it's almost like slaves. Like when the slaves is on the plantation and something happened, they all, they scared to get in trouble, and that they like, no, I'm the victim. It's kind of like how y'all are now. Like, y'all would do a crime and then play the victim. Like, no, my neighborhood is the reason, and ain't no accountability, ain't no, standing firm on whatever you do. And that you're gonna always watch what you do if like, I have to stand on it. We still have to stand on it, but we stand on it in a victim mindset. And that, you get my point? It all comes from slavery, though. And so people got to pay attention to these things, meaning black people. Slavery wasn't forced on us. Slavery is work. So you figure, like, in the past, Europeans is coming over here, they setting up plantations, which is like early warehouses and factories, you can say. And then they buy whatever slaves they buy from whoever owns slaves. Like, you got to remember, slaves is buying slaves. They mix breeding slaves like how you do animals. So they not running out of no slaves. If a dude got 20 slaves, he gonna breed them out. So by at least next season, 9 months from now, he at least know he got about, you get it, 30, 40 more coming in. Like that. In that, you have people who have slaves that they inherited from their ancestors. They own about 1,000 people. But their ancestors was just cold over the generations. And, buying slaves or people and then mixed breeding them out over the time. You get my point? Now have one slave chick having a baby every year. And that he ain't running out of no slaves. When them slaves die, one get hurt. It's like the system y'all live in. Y'all dying and y'all being born. And that, the employment market ain't gonna have no problem of finding new people to work it. The one slave don't work, just get them out of here and get the next. Black people don't want to work, cool. Get them the fuck out of here and get these migrants in here. They'll work for $4. Like that. It's all just business. And so, like I said, the early plantation master like the boss at the warehouse. And he got all the slaves, all the people that he bought to work whatever crop he harvested, and then he's sending it back to Europe. You get my point? And maybe he got a slave with a talent. So then he do like how y'all are today. Y'all stars. But you got some white nigga over you that make you a star. He get paid. He get paid for you to be a star. Like that in the past. You say, I got this slave that could sing, and they gonna pay to see my slave perform. In that, you have one slave that might be a singer, and that slave get to travel all around the world singing. But the slave master get all the bread. He like the CEO of the music company that don't even exist yet. He just getting money. I mean, like that. It's the same old slavery. It's just developed now, meaning the place is developed now. If you remove all the buildings and all of the development, still the same thing. You get my point? People working, not grasping the orders of things. And so black people don't understand what that did to them in regards to, like, on a psychological level. We got a lot of slave hangover that y'all not even aware of. Like, it's beyond y'all hating on each other. That just come from, like, slaves being envious of each other. Maybe this slave get to be the house nigga. Maybe this slave is the overseer. And maybe you sitting in the hot ass sun picking cotton, so you hating. You're supposed to be hating on master, but you start hating on the other slave. And this is all psychological, meaning the master want the slave to have cheap envy, where he envy small, like he could envy the master, but he envy another slave. Like that's gonna make his situation better. The field nigga think if he get to be a house nigga, that really make his situation better. In his mind, it do. But overall, it truly don't. Nigga still a slave. You get my point? But so you see my point? The slave master benefit off the slave's mind. And not the slave become a lesser, where it just reach for the lesser things and it's gonna reach for the lesser things. You gonna have to bring it to its attention. You see how I'm saying, like, y'all be hating cheap. Y'all hate is cheap. Y'all be jealous of one another, but y'all could be jealous over whoever run the whole system. But y'all sitting around hating on each other. The one rapper hating on the other rapper. They could be hating on the CEOs, but they envy cheap. And it's all psychological when the person don't even take the time out to think about that for themselves. Sitting around here wasting your jealousy. And it's sad to be in the negative space, but it's even sadder when your negativity is cheap. The cheap ass hate. And this is where we at as people. They done messed us up psychologically so bad, our negativity is even cheap and bootleg. Meaning we don't even direct our negativity in the right direction. And when we do use our negativity, we don't even use it for nothing that ain't got no worth beyond us, truly. Again, you a fan of this rapper, that rapper, you hating on them, and you get my point? You could be hating on a damn CEO over them. You could be hating on anything you want. And you choose to hate on some shit that's similar to you. And so we got slave hangover beyond what y'all could fathom, like, deeper than the things y'all take the time to think of, things y'all wouldn't think of if it was never brought up, you know? And so I don't like to speak on these things because, you know, y'all afflicted beyond what y'all could fathom. I'm speaking about black people, meaning on a mental level, y'all afflicted beyond what y'all could fathom. So helping y'all is a danger. Meaning anybody that even try and help y'all, they put theyself in danger because it's already psychological. Y'all already got so much psychological problems in regards to, like, overall, look at it like this. The slave master wants to psychologically get the slave to where the slave is self-destructive. Before the slave think to even do anything to the master, it will do it to itself. You follow? In that, the slave will destroy its own self in its own before it even think to look at the slave master's lowest member of the house. Like, you get my point? You know, the slave master had his little family or his side of things. And there's the bottom of the barrel of that. The slave wouldn't even think to touch the bottom of the barrel of the master's house, but it will hate on its own. And this is a result of it being kind of psychologically brainwashed into hating its own self. And that a person come to help y'all, they liable to die. Meaning at some point y'all gonna turn on them. Remember, like, in 2017, I was saying, like, Vlad think he down with the blacks, but he don't understand how black people work. They gonna turn on him. I said this in like 2017. I had a video up. Man, everything I said happened. Yeah, the falling out with Lord Jabbar and Godfrey, and this was just over slave shit. Vlad got a problem with Farrakhan. Black people share brains. So you get my point? Lord Jamar and Godfrey don't know Farrakhan from a hole in the wall. In that, they will burn a bridge with their white friend for somebody they don't even know. Remember, black people are self-destructive. So don't get lost into the black and white thing. Vlad and them was friends, however you want to cut it. They betrayed a friend like children because of peer pressure, basically. Meaning black people still like children. We hold our own to being children and we go into it. You follow what I'm saying? Y'all would have hated on Godfrey and Lord Jamar if they didn't go with the we canceling Vlad because he disrespected the minister. Like children. Now there's more important things we could come together on to tear down. But you see my point? Y'all so cheesy. Y'all worried about Vlad. And this nigga's like the bottom of the barrel of white. It's like I said before, the slave master barely even think to do anything to slave master's house. The bottom of the barrel of the slave master's house, they won't even do nothing to him. But you get my point? Now y'all could be hating on Joe Rogan, any goddamn white person y'all could think of. For any dumb reason y'all want. I'm sure they all don't like Farrakhan. It don't matter if they said it or not. If you know, ain't that the point? Meaning a person saying they don't like somebody is just an awareness to you. But if you already aware before they say it, do you get it? Being aware of a thing is the whole point. Now, if you know they all don't give two shits about Farrakhan, well, you could have just picked the biggest of the biggest if you're going to attack. The overall point I'm making is black people's minds is all scrambled up. And it's because there's no morals. Y'all living on little kid time, little peer pressure time. But never for anything of any true merit. We could do a 1,000,000-man march and sit on the White House lawn playing with our feet and shit. But we can't have 1,000,000-man everybody put up $1 so we can get our own country or something of use. We can't do nothing like that. You get my point? And so the psychological destruction is too far gone. It's too far gone where y'all can't even track it no more. Like, I don't even think y'all care. Meaning black people just, y'all want to stun on each other. Y'all enjoy hating on each other. It's deeper than I could tell when I see like how y'all are. Like when Puffy went through whatever he was going through, I could see like y'all enjoy it. It's deeper than just the like, this person's wrong or this person's right. Y'all enjoy the crucifying of y'all own. This is why I say y'all like white people now. Y'all enjoy it. Once a person enjoys something, that means, you get it? Look at it like food. They addicted to it. They gonna sneak and eat it, and they gonna do what they love and what they like. And so hating on each other is a delicacy y'all learned to love. In that, y'all will agree to anything, but y'all gonna always sneak to go hate on each other because y'all enjoy it. You could tell every time a black person got something going on. Remy Ma and Papoose little issue, y'all enjoy this. Y'all ain't gonna admit it, but you get my point? Y'all running the content up of it and y'all enjoy it. Y'all not speaking no logic into it. Y'all just enjoying the tearings down of whoever. Y'all overlooking that Remy Ma is still a woman. You get my point? And yeah, she fried right now. Yeah, she's fried and burnt out right now. You get it? She mad as hell. But this is normal. Y'all gonna sit here and make it worse. Y'all supposed to be like, hold on, Papoose didn't mean anything he said, knowing that there's a little girl involved and he gonna pay for that shit. And that mean this little girl gonna pay for that shit. Cause a woman can't really do nothing to a man. They could just do something through the children. Whether it be brainwashing that little girl or hate her father or whatever slave tricks we pick up from slavery and the hangover of it, that's what Papoose gonna be going through with his daughter. Meaning every time you got a broken-hearted woman, you're gonna have a kid that have a disconnect with their father. Then we ain't gonna have no fathers. You get it? No male presences. And from there, do you get my point? Mind you, Clarissa Shields and Papoose ain't gonna be together that long. This is just sloppy married people playing games trying to show each other, I could get somebody young. Goofy shit. They just going through their midlife crisis. You know, people hit 40s and early 50s and start bugging the fuck out. This is normal in life. Excuse my language. Call it a midlife crisis. I don't know. What is it called for women? Menopause. Y'all overlooking like Remy Ma is at these ages. And Papoose is at the ages where niggas like start losing their mind a little bit. Doing shit out of the character you used to. Well, y'all say Papoose always so quiet. Yeah, that nigga 47 years old. He probably having a midlife crisis. His midlife crisis is going to affect the daughter. Because Remy Ma going to be venting to the daughter. Do you get it? He not going to be able to be present every day of the daughter life because they ain't together no more. And that, do you get my point? The little girl mind gonna be all scrambled up from Remy's bitterness, but I'm watching y'all agitate shit in the daytimes. I'm from a time where if a chick was bitter, she was bitter, and the dudes and nobody else wasn't adding on to it. We live in a time where y'all adding on to people's bitterness like other people don't gotta live it out. That man gonna have to live that out. Y'all dragging Remy right now. He gonna have to live that out. I ain't sure why he don't got a brain to know that. He got hella kids. How you got all them kids and don't know that? And so, Orlando Lawrence said, that's what I deal with now. I'm trying to work things out with your baby moms. You and your baby moms have to be fair with one another. If y'all ain't gonna be fair, y'all don't need to work out anything. You get my point? And more than that, people need to learn to focus on the children. Once two people have children, y'all be getting too lost into y'all own selves. The kid come before the man and the woman's relationship, and it should always be that way in the mindset. The first job is we got to handle this kid. Then we could get to each other's simple-mindedness. Because that's all it be. Simple-mindedness. And so you get my point? Work out that with your baby mother first. Meaning before y'all become an item or whatever, make sure y'all could trust each other to raise the kids separate since y'all already are. Because if y'all can't do that, what you gonna get together and beat her up and shit? Or she gonna beat you up? Do you get my point? That ain't healthy either. And that, make sure y'all could be fair for the kids' sake. Meaning, you and her not together, so you get nothing from her that you used to get, and she don't get nothing from you that you used to get. In that, we'll see if y'all really love the kid when it ain't nothing in it for you, but to just show up and do what you're supposed to do for the kid and vice versa. And don't get in the way of nobody doing what they supposed to do. If y'all can handle that, then you get my point. Maybe y'all can handle a relationship. But if y'all can't handle that, meaning if y'all can't trust each other outside the household, meaning if you and a woman ain't together and you can't trust her only when you with her, then you can't trust her and there's no point. A lot of women overlook that. And a lot of y'all gonna be tested like that. Remember when Cameron broke up with his little girlfriend, the little Dominican lady? I don't even know what she is, but she was on like Love and Hip Hop and all of that. And he had broke up with her for a small time, and then she was running around with Safari. And I was telling y'all like, yeah, that's what Harlem niggas be doing. It's just a Harlem thing. You get my point? You have a girlfriend at some point, you like, I'm gonna let her go because I need to see like what I'm working with. Everybody law you and everybody everything when you with them. Let's see how they is when you're not. And most chicks fail that. A short breakup become indefinite. And so men are important in women's lives. Little girls. I know we get lost on boys, like, and it's important for boys so a boy can become a man, but I'm thinking a man is more important in a girl's life growing up because a girl can become completely unbalanced if there's no male figure. And that, you get it? A lot of women have completely unreasonable mindsets when they come to men, but it start from when they was younger and there was no man, for them to defend for anything. They become imbalanced and, strange. You said that's what I do and all my past women could pass that test. Salam, shalom. I ain't saying you should do it like... I'm not saying people from Harlem just do it. But you're going to have times when you and a person have tension. So they'll do it then. Like, let it happen normally. When you're in a relationship with somebody, y'all going to have y'all moments where you like, I ain't, how y'all just talk out your ass. But in the moments, you could use it for real purpose. So let me see how this going to work. I'm going to drag this out a little longer than normal. And you get my point? Just to see, like, what happens. You said, is it okay to test your partner that you're in a relationship with on purpose? I don't think you should test anybody on purpose, but you're going to get small moments that you could always use as tests. Meaning you don't have to play games with anybody. Life is life and it's going to be life. And in that, you're going to always have moments that's going to be tests on their own. And you just hold people to those moments. Other than that, you don't have to set up scenarios and all of that to figure out this or that. Life going... Think of anybody you was in a relationship with. You get my point? At some point, something happened, and it was a test against their morals, their loyalty to you, their honor, or something. And they either passed or they didn't. And maybe you overlooked them failing. Maybe you didn't. But however you cut it, you get my point? You get numerous little moments that you can use as tests and, a means to judge what you're dealing with. Most people don't. You get it? They just look at those as series of events and they either gonna overlook it or not. And so when you get into relationships with people, you don't want to play games. This is the testing stuff and all that dumb stuff. You should already know what you got. Because y'all should have spent the time getting to know each other before. You get my point? Dicks was in mouths and pussies was on faces and all that. Hopefully ain't no kids in here. I want to be real with y'all. And I'll be out here sucking booty and all that and barely know the name. What they name, you don't know, but you got they ass on your breath. You don't know that girl name? Because your breath smell like doo. Breath smell like her doodle, but you don't know her name. And we live in them times. You got to really look at your kid and be like, you licked her ass, but you don't have a name. She farted in your mouth. You got to say it like that. She farted in your mouth and you didn't get her name. And you got to let your kid, you get it? You got to talk to them like that. That kid come in the house, you got to just look at him and be like, what you was doing, eating ass? You got to connect with your, you get it? You gotta piss them off so they know, like, blood, I don't care how you feel about nothing. Was you out there eating booty? You know, they gonna lie. No, I was eating booty. Come on. Oh, why you always bothering me? Shut your ass up. Come over here. Let me smell your mouth. Let me smell if you was licking ass. And this is how you connect with your kids. You let them know you could talk to me about anything because I'm going to talk to you about it. So you might as well get the talk. I'm going to start the conversation whether you want to talk about it or not. So you might as well get to talking to me about whatever because I'm going to bring it up. You was having sex with girls around the corner. Let me smell your fingers. Let me see if it smell like booty. A little girl butt. Oh my God. I think I'm joking. I be like this for real. I remember when I was younger, and my daughter was a little young. I hate telling this story. I don't want to embarrass her. But I had choked out. I ain't choked out, but I grabbed up by her collar and shit because she had a boyfriend. That shit was funny. Shit was funny, but it wasn't funny. Then I felt bad. I'm like, damn, because you know I don't hit my kids. I believe in conversation. So when I had to grab her up, you know, I felt kind of bad after that. I said, yeah, she not learn. She not gonna learn. You know. I felt like a bad father, cause you feel me. After I draped up, I called her like, I called her like 20 minutes later, like, hey babe, you done crying? I'm a sucker like that. I ain't gonna front. I'm sorry I had to beat you up. You know, you gotta listen. I'm like, yeah, this shit ain't. I should have just left it. Like, yeah. Every time you get it, you get it choked out. But you feel me? Life be life, and like I said, y'all gotta take what y'all get, use it. You know, use it to find your way. Y'all already know who's solid and who ain't. You got a thing called love and liking, you know, admiring and all of these things, and it interfere with you know you going on your way from the people that you should. But Dream Lavish said I woke up with a foreign girl in the bed. I don't even know her name. I mean, in the daytime saying that it don't mean nothing. You got mad bummy immigrants running around. Back in the day, a dude said, yeah, I was woke up with some foreign chick in the bed. You like, ain't no real foreigners out here, so he must have been overseas because he getting money and he done brought him something back. When you say I had a foreigner in the bed, I just think of like, you bought some pussy for 35, 45. Remember I was telling y'all about that bargain booty? Like, don't be out here buying bargain prostitutes. You know, $25, $35. That's how you end up in the clinic. If you're gonna buy prostitutes, you wanna buy the expensive ones, you know, $2,000, $3,000 prostitutes. You don't wanna be trying to find a bargain, you know, on certain things, like especially things like that. Ain't worth it. And so you woke up with a foreign prostitute in the bed, $35, $45. I know how you get down, big baby. You ain't gonna get one over on me. I know how y'all get down in the daytime. And I bought you a little cheap prostitute. She happened to be foreign like they usually are, you know, Japanese or some shit like that. Half a Mexican, who knows? And so I hope you use, you know, you know what I hope you use, man. Get your life together. Carnell said, I got a 12 and 13-year-old. I needed to hear that. Yeah, life is real, man. You want to, in regards to children and relationships, you know, I can tell you all about those things. But more than anything, you get my point? Everything boil you down to being, you know, fair. You know, once a person lose sight of that, whether it's the man or the woman, you ruin everything from that moment. And it ain't no recouping anything. It's done. And a lot of people don't get that. Meaning a lot of men and women, they've burnt out relationships being unfair, you know, perspective wise. Just having an unfair perspective in moments of being angry. Y'all don't like to acknowledge when y'all wrong, and you get my point? It's gonna damage everything. You ain't gonna be able to recoup. Meaning most people gonna lose the best things they ever had from being unfair and never snapping out of the unfair perspective. pride kicking. It get, it's all psychological, but people ain't scientists, so you get my point. Mine gonna get tangled up. Look at it like this: if you're wrong about something and you're not somebody that likes to admit you wrong, then you're gonna reverse the wrong. Are you gonna justify your wrong by reversing it on the other person in some way? And this is when you're gonna create the breaking or damaging of the bridge. Meaning, it's one thing to be wrong; it's a whole nother thing to get it. Doing somebody wrong is bad enough, but throwing them under the bus and going to extremes after that, that's going to create a space that you can't return back from. And a lot of y'all are headed down that path right now, meaning you're being completely unreasonable, but you're not keeping track of it. You're just getting lost in your moments of, being emotional. And you're going to find yourself lost in time, where you cut off, but you don't realize it because, you've been carrying on or whatever the case may be, or, keeping up with your unfair behavior. And it's a deep thing. If you're young, take your time. I'll get to know a person before you get my point. You gotta have steps. Meaning, when you're really looking for a spouse, well, usually we just try and bag up whatever we could bag up, wind up having sex, and then that be your girlfriend or your boyfriend. And that ain't the proper way you do it. First, you find somebody that you like as a friend, where you like, oh, this person is cool. I like hanging out with them. I like conversing with them. Why? Because a relationship is built on those things. Conversation. Being able to hang out and be in the presence of each other. A lot of times people start relationships off sex. Then they come to realize, I don't really like this person. I don't want to be around them like that. You find a lot of husbands and men trying to avoid going home because they don't like their wife. They just fell in love with her vagina. It's a difference. You could fall in love with the vagina and truly hate the person. This is where men start cheating and all this nonsense. It's because of that. He fell in love with the vagina and not the woman. He didn't take a time out to know her. And so you want to take a time out to know people. Make sure, you can hang with them and converse with them. In that, you'll know in those moments if they reasonable or not. And that you ain't got to go all the way into the river with them. You could just keep it at the river's edge. Keep everything on a shallow level. But like I said, it's a communication thing. You got to talk to people. You kind of got to get a perspective of them. In the daytimes, y'all know people before y'all know them. And that, you get my point? Y'all be with the wrong things because it's like I said, y'all know everybody and everything before y'all actually take a time out too. And that, y'all be accusing each other of things and all of these things before you even got to know a person. You getting to know them through accusations. Like, that's not how that goes. Everything is genuine. You get my point? We live in a time, meaning, like I said, black people got a lot of psychological attacks against them. So let's just say we coming up on the time where black women and black men gonna be going to war with one another. They already are, but you get my point, worse than what you see now. You gotta always look at it when you're dealing with black people. It's always a self-destructive thing. This is the psychology that was, put into our minds since 300-400 years ago. In that, everything concerning us got to do with us self-destructing in many different avenues. So all the many different ways you could think of black people self-destructing or going against one another, it's already been in play. Meaning it's already been seeded into the mind. It just hasn't blossomed yet. Black people gonna come to a time where their children are killing them and vice versa. Worse than anything you may have heard before. And until y'all become aware of what I said, where I said like we got psychological attacks, and the end goal of these psychological attacks got to do with us completely wiping each other out. Whether you talking man on man, woman on woman, then child versus parents, so it's gonna, you get it? It's threaded in, like, and that we got to be still and kind of start being aware. A lot of y'all are young, y'all are talking. They got us in disarray, meaning there's no order. The young are talking to the old, and you get my point? It's like the ass leading the head, and it ain't no adjustments being made, and worse than that, everybody acting like they don't notice, or they either don't. And so you get my point? Y'all know me, I'm Chief Elder. But y'all got y'all own leaders and things y'all follow. And I don't think they aware of the things that I'm saying, because every aspect of how we move, we fall right into it. You get my point? And that, the little kids in today times and the little girls in the daytimes, they not going to be together in regards to the black race. They're going to be fighting against each other. I'm going to say it again. Y'all going to see when the 5-year-olds and the 6-year-olds that y'all see now, 20 years from now, let's say 15 years from now, when they 21, y'all going to see, like, when you're dealing with the black race, the men and the women in the black race, for some reason, they don't deal with each other like at all. Where you like, so damn, the men must gonna be gay and the women gonna be gay. Nah, y'all gonna be unbalanced and cold. Like, the men just ain't gonna have no women. They ain't necessarily gonna be gay, they just gonna be lonely. And vice versa. The women ain't necessarily gonna turn gay, they just ain't gonna be dealing with no men. And they gonna go cold, and you get my point? We already at the beginnings of this. Meaning what I'm saying already started, but it's gonna get fulfilled. In that, the black race ain't gonna even exist no more once that come to be. And we almost there, so this shit is all real. Like, think like the Bible say, the gods ain't like man no more, so they devised a plan to get rid of them. Let's say somebody didn't like black people, so they devised a psychological plan for you niggas to get rid of y'all own self. And the plan gonna take anywhere from 100 years to 800 years, but it's gonna happen. It's like a seed. You just throw a seed and leave it. And after 100, 200 years, it's a whole forest there from that seed. Like that. I just planted seeds long ago, and sitting back and watching the works, the harvest. That's why when we be doing the things we be doing, I be, y'all on kid time. If ain't nobody saying what y'all want to hear or saying the things y'all don't want to hear, then y'all like, we got to cancel them. And it start with y'all elders, Your black elder jealous. He telling you to blackball and cancel out the other black teacher. Like that. We too far gone. Remember when I explained to y'all, like, all the people born between 86 and 96? They between the ages of 29 and 39 years old now, when they were the crack babies. You had a lot of crack babies during the times of 86 through 96. Let's say at least 60, 70% of the babies was crack babies. All them babies born during that time have grown up now. They between 29 and 39 years old. They y'all elders. Y'all the kids of the babies that was born afflicted by crack. You got to remember, drugs alter the state of the mind. And this generation that I'm talking about, this the drill generation, the lean generation. Meaning if you go back 10 years, they would have been 19 through 29. But that's that generation that was on lean. In a generation y'all was complaining about the drill rappers shooting each other for no reason. We think black people going down, it's just one generation, which is that 86 through 96 generation. They're 29 through 39 now, but 10 years ago they was 19 through 29. Y'all was complaining about we complaining about one generation, but you get it? Y'all don't realize it. And this is not a jab at anybody born between 86 and 96. I'm just saying, look at the realities of life, and y'all will see what I'm saying y'all own self. Y'all the generation that ain't instilled no manners or nothing in y'all kids. Remember in the beginning of the video, I said you gotta like instill balance and fairness, and y'all the ones. Y'all didn't do none of that. Like that. You gotta remember peer pressure. If there's 70% crack babies, they gonna peer pressure to 30%. In that, do you get my point? Psychological attacks. You add the alchemy into it, the drugs. Speed along the process. And so we gotta start keeping track of these things. Meaning we like to get ashamed and be like, I ain't on no crack baby and all of that dumb shit. But we gotta live this out. And that we gotta be mindful. Meaning if you hear me tell you, man, they fucked us over during 86 through 96, and all you crazy niggas between the ages of 29 and 39, y'all crazy and throwed off how y'all law cause y'all was crack babies. Peer pressured by crack babies if you wasn't one, then y'all be paying attention to whatever drugs they giving the babies now or the kids now. Because them kids gonna have kids that's gonna be, you get it? All the people that was on lean and popping pills, they had kids, you know that, right? Everybody ain't proudly gonna promote, yeah, I was popping pills during my pregnancy still. But this that generation, they was popping pills and leaning out while they was pregnant. And we not keeping track of these things to even explain to them. It ain't about like what you doing, but it's about what's gonna happen years to come. When you got lean head babies becoming adults, but they was afflicted by that lean beyond what you could fathom because you're not a scientist. And so it's a deep thing. Jimmy said, get to know them before purifying in the waters of Minotaur. Yeah, before you bless them with the Holy Ghost, you feel me? I'll make sure they worthy of it. Otherwise, Carnell Hickman said, my mom was on crack and they put me in a system at a gay couple house. I'm not being funny when I say like the people between 86 and 96 was crack babies. It's an unfortunate thing. It's crazy when you think about it, but that wasn't an attack against black people of them times. That was an attack against the offspring. That was an attack that they was looking to, harvest out in the time to come. All right, brother. Let's say they plagued the ghettos with crack in 86 through 96, but they wasn't looking for no results from that until 2016. Like that. They attacking us generations ahead, and y'all catching on to things now, but they attacks got to do with our future, meaning they attacking our future, and y'all ain't even catching on to the things. Y'all just now catching on to things that happened 400 years ago. Y'all becoming aware of games and things they was playing 200-300 years ago. But y'all ain't paying attention of how they attacking now. Generational. They not worrying about nothing now. Everything is for the future. They already conquered the now. When you defeat a people, you don't gotta worry about the now. You already got that. That mean they don't gotta attack none of us. Y'all already dumb already how they want y'all. But everything they do is for the generation to come. You gotta keep dumb. It's a vibration. In that, every generation, they got a new means of attacking. This generation, they getting attacked by the online. meaning the system is raising the babies because they're online and they're learning all the trends and all the dumb stuff that don't have nothing to do with them. And you get it, like their tribe that they come from. And that your kid from Atlanta sound like he from LA or New York. And losing their own culture, like. And so you gonna see in the future a young boy from New York gonna sound like he from Atlanta. Ain't gonna be accents no more. Everybody just gonna sound any old kind of way. Everybody gonna sound like whatever the accent is for when you be online all day long. And it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. It's getting a little chilly out here, man. I'm not sure if y'all realize this, but in New York, we still wearing coats. We ain't get summer yet. Or we ain't get spring yet. Like today, the high is like 50 something. You know, the low like 40. Meaning at nighttime, it be like 47 degrees. And we still wearing winter coats. Some of y'all, it's like 80 degrees where you live at. 90 degrees. Y'all having a heat wave. The point I'm making is, don't get startled if you come to start to notice, like, missing out on certain seasons. Like this year, New York ain't get a spring. Maybe next year we won't get a summer. Meaning the whole summer be cold where we got on coats and it's July. Maybe Texas don't get us a winter. They short weather all year. Like that. Don't get surprised if, you know, the seasons just don't show up. Where you like, what happened to this season? I thought a spring was supposed to come around or a summer. They control the weather. They control everything. Meaning, the rulers of this world, they control every aspect of life that y'all don't even realize. They control the weather. They control how y'all think. They control y'all mood. Meaning, if they can control the weather, then they can control y'all mood. Because y'all mood is an internal weather of a sort. And that, you get my point? They're controlling y'all emotional state, y'all mind. They're controlling the weather. They're controlling time itself, meaning y'all have a calendar with January, February, March. You get my point? The whole Hebrew magic been put on the whole world. And it's a control thing, a shepherd king thing. When I say shepherd king thing, I mean like, you had shepherds. These is your first kings. They was kings over animals, though. Then, of course, men started to become kings over men. And your first kings, their citizens are, you know, the people of their place was like livestock. Meaning in your early cities, the citizens wasn't like how y'all think. They was more like slave master plantation type of thing. And the people just worked and built up the city. Think like Nimrod. He said, let us build us a tower. But he wasn't talking about himself actually putting in no work. He was talking about all them people. Like, y'all gonna build this up for me. I'm King Nimrod. And I'm gonna sit back and watch y'all do it. And they just slave all day building up his city. And he the shepherd over them people. And they the flock like the sheeps. And he mixed breed them out and do them like how I said. You know, making sure he got slaves for generations. It start like that with your eugenics, controlling man. How man populating all these things. They trying to control the outer environment too. We at a point now where they got everything under control. The weather, y'all emotional state, y'all mind. They got the seasons under control. They got time itself under control. Meaning time is just a man-made thing. Time is real, but it's not a number thing. It's just an existence thing. Like, Outside of that, a number system and all of that, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday stuff, that's not real. But y'all really live by it. So I mean like that, they control time. Cause y'all live by an order of time that's not actually real. It's just curriculum. Meaning somebody just made that up. Like it's gonna be 7 days out the week. They could have said it was 10 days out the week. They could have said anything they want. There's nothing that pop up when the sun rises and be like, this is the first day and tomorrow's gonna be the second. You just have one day. And we just come and go from it, you know? Meaning y'all wake up and go to sleep. And come and go from the day. But it's the same day. It's not a page of days, and you get it? Tomorrow is not Wednesday. And after that's Thursday. That's just made up. But we live by those order of time. So I mean like that. They control everything beyond what y'all even thinking about. And most people have not awakened to that. And that y'all are trying to get wise and all of these things and don't realize whatever y'all talking about, it's the program. You're still in the program or in the matrix. Where the mind, how y'all perceive all these things is controlled. This is why if y'all told the truth on certain things, y'all will know it's the truth because y'all can't refute it, but then you get it? It's all controlled, like I said. And it's been happening since, you know, long time ago. Meaning over the course of time, man has slowly been trying to conquer the whole world and life and every aspect of it. You know, the seasons, time itself, everything. The minds and emotional states of people, all of that. So you could say since biblical times, this has what man has been working on. And you working on whatever you working on. You get it? Everybody got their agenda and working on whatever they working on. So let's just say there's been people here that have been working on controlling every aspect of life since the year 1600 BC. Like, and every generation just finish off where the last one stopped. And you get my point? And we so far along now, they got everything under control and they're looking to control. They looking to even control the death and the life. They already control like the time. Remember I said they control time. So let's say man's supposed to live to be about 1,000 years old, but because man was domesticated, you know, treated like cattle at some point in time and sold, because that happened, because he was domesticated, you can say his timeline was shortened purposely. This is called eugenics, meaning man lived to whatever age he lived because that's done on purpose. Like, think like if you breeding pit bulls, but you like now alter the genes so the shit don't, so it don't get this big or it don't live past this amount of time. I only want it to live like 5 years. Like that. You can control those things when you mix breeding and stuff. You know, domesticating a thing, whether an animal or a man, you can control those things. So look at it like that. Over time, they controlling the time. Like, nah, they can't have this much time because you get it? Man good to live to 100 because he still be dumb and don't wake up. But if he linger around too long, you get my point? He ain't gonna have no choice but to, like, you get it? A man live 100, a man live to be 800 years old. A nigga not gonna be 800 years old still talking about Jesus, my Lord and Savior. That's too much time. Blood gonna catch on at some point. Like, hold the fuck up, man. I've been watching this joint generation after generation, like, and I seen them change it. Like, when you around that long, you start to see them changing and altering things where you like, hold on. That ain't even the same Bible no more from the joint from 800 years ago. You made a whole new one, like. But a person that only lived 100 years, they wouldn't know that. And so like that, they shorten the time span of man, and we probably get to a point where they shorten the time span of man to 30 years old. Where man don't even live past 35 years old. But they controlling every aspect of life, even aspects y'all are not aware of. And it's just sad, you know? I appreciate whoever gave back. Anyone else want to give back? Thank you in advance. Balances everything. Like I always say, I don't mind pushing out this content, and I don't mind leaving it up for free where y'all could just dive in and do what y'all do, but y'all have to give back. I'm already on that accord, meaning I didn't come online playing the views and likes games. I was already doing my thing before YouTube. And that, you get my point? Y'all get mad, y'all flag the channel, mess up the channel, and that I can't even do nothing with it but members only stuff in regards to me monetizing. So the videos gotta go to members only, but I don't mind leaving them up, but y'all got to give back. Life is a balance, and it costs me to teach y'all, you know, beyond what y'all can fathom. Saying things like this, there's people on the opposite end of what I'm saying. And you get my point? They gonna take that out on me, not you. And so this is a deep thing. That's why I be kicking back lately. I might do a video once a week, cause you get my point? These videos ain't games. It's deep things that be said in them. And you get my point? Like I said, there's always people that's benefiting off things that might not always be good for everybody else, and that they're gonna intervene with me. I'm a strong person, so you know they're gonna intervene in strange ass ways, but they got everything wired, and they control things y'all don't even understand. They control the wars happening and stopping. They control the weather, everything. Like, it's all controlled. They could make it snow right now if they want. You got all those, what are those things called up in space? It's right on the tip of my tongue. Satellites and things like that. Those is things that help to control a lot of these things that I'm saying. They don't need them satellites up there for whatever y'all think they do. Those satellites got to do with them controlling aspects of Earth. Things on a large scale like weather. And that, you get it? The satellites gotta, you know, they gotta kind of be like how they are, where they can see over large areas. And this all go back to Hebrew magic. Like I said, man, they worship the constellations, the Hebrews. Solomon and the 72 demons, this got to do with the 72 constellations that the ancient Hebrews worshipped. And when you see the seals of those 72 demons, that's the image of the constellation. In today times, they got like 88 constellations that we recognize. Maybe China recognized 200. But we talking about ancient Hebrew. So they had 72 constellations that they worshipped. And you get my point? These was the demons, or the angels, depending on if it was in the north or southern hemisphere. And so you get my point? If you're lost and you're like, no, they didn't worship, it don't go like that. It do go like that. The ancient Hebrews, they believed in the dark cosmic space. This was the god of the four quarters. Or you can say north, south, east, west. When you think of north, south, east, west, you think of a compass. You follow? The ancient Hebrews' god was dark space, or north, south, east, west, and so their symbol was what we know as a cross, which is a compass. Even in the daytime, y'all worship that cross. That cross is a compass. And a compass is how you find your way on this earth. So think like Abraham. His father told him to leave his lands and go find his own place, and he had his compass. This is how he was finding out where to go. A lot of y'all will say, no, God was telling Abraham where to go. Yeah, if you understand God is all the dark cosmic space, and that's north, south, east, west, and a compass is a connection with this God, then you get like the compass is God, and it's telling Abraham which direction to go. And this is your ancient Hebrew magic. I'll still live by this today. Y'all just don't understand. Meaning a cross is a symbol for a compass. And a compass is the true symbol for all the dark space, which is north, south, east, west, for direction. And so the ancient Hebrews believed in that as God, and all the constellations in this dark night space, or cosmic space, was your angels or demons of God. The different emanations of this dark cosmic space are north, south, east, west. You follow? And so they worship the different angels or demons, but we're speaking of constellations in their direction. The constellations make for the direction in the darkness. And the compass, you get it, is the connection to those orders, those heavenly orders. And so when you're dealing with the ancient Hebrews, this is how they got, or this is how they put like a time on man and all these different aspects that I said they're trying to control. It all comes from the Hebrew magic, but it starts in understanding that. Meaning even y'all religions, is what I'm telling you. They worship the God of the four quarters, or all the dark cosmic space, which is north, south, east, west, four directions. This is why y'all have a cross as y'all symbol, but that cross is basically a compass. Meaning the compass is the true cross, and it's your connection to that God, because it tell you which direction to go. And that's because of the angels, you could say, are the constellations. They make for the directions in space. Or when someone's navigating this planet, they're using the stars to direct them. You get it? The compass helped them from having to look at the stars. Now they can just look at the compass, which is basically a handmade replica of dark space. And all its cardinal directions is like the different directions of the constellations. And so when you're dealing with the Hebrews, they understood as above, so below, meaning you have down here, which is earth, and all the places on earth, and you have the living here. When you get to the night or the dark cosmic space, and you look up at night and you see all the constellations and stars, that's the places for the dead. Like the souls of all the living on earth when they die, the places that they will be living will be the places in dark cosmic space. Think like when you dream, you go into unconsciousness or darkness. Dream is a part of unconsciousness. Unconsciousness is dark space. Dream is the places in that dark space. So y'all pop up wherever y'all do. Dark cosmic space is like a reflection of your unconsciousness. You can't see that, but it's a reflection of it. So you have all of the dark cosmic space or unconsciousness, and all those different constellations are the many different places or dream worlds or soul worlds in that darkness or in that death, so to say. And so when you're looking at the stars, you get it? You're looking at the places of the dead, where the living on earth go. If you lost, the constellations are stars. This is a sun with its planets. Now, when you're dealing with constellations, it's a cluster of stars. That means you got a bunch of different suns and a bunch of planets associated with these suns all clustered together. When you're dealing with a constellation, you got one main star and then all the other stars. If you understand a solar system is a place, you live in one, then you grasp what I'm saying. All those constellations are places, but not for the living, for the dead. Y'all in the place of the living is called Earth. It's not a circle or a ball. It's no different than above. Meaning, whatever the dark night sky and all those different constellations and stars you can see, whatever they shape they is or however it look to you, that's what below is. Just endless world for the living and all the places there. And this is why you can use the stars to map your way around the earth, because it's the same thing as above, so below. Before and after. Like, they were alive in the day, now they dead. Like, this is the places they go. Like I said, it coincides with unconsciousness. So you got many different places in unconsciousness. Y'all call it dream. Shall I continue on? Are y'all grasping, or this is over y'all heads, you know? I don't see y'all giving back anything. I don't know if y'all appreciate this, you know, this fire that I'm giving y'all. But let me know if y'all following. Because this the deep stuff. Peace and wisdom, Dev 3640. This the deep private channel stuff that I really don't even be going into. The sacred knowledge of the soul, you know? But let me know. He said you sound like a poet. And I'm just one of the best lecturers of this time. Meaning I could put together some of the best lectures you'll ever hear. And I explain, you know, the ancient text and artwork that was left behind. I explain what it is in reality, like I'm doing with this Hebrew magic. I'm gonna tell you demons is this thing and that thing that you can't do nothing with. It ain't tangible. I'm telling you what it is on a real level, you know? It got to do with a lot of the orders that y'all live by. Y'all worshiping death and darkness, but don't realize it. And this is why the God is dead on the cross. Now, when you're dealing with the ancient Hebrews, like I said, they worship these daemon, which are the constellations up above, and these is places for the dead. And they sacrifice people to these things. So think like in the ancient Hebrew times, they sacrificing somebody to their God. They'll kill them on a certain day, at a certain time. This got to do with the direction or the coordinates of the constellation that they're sacrificing the person or animal to. You follow? This is why y'all have birthdays and things like that. They're sacrificing or binding y'all to certain constellations or orders up above, so that when y'all die, y'all soul will go where it knows to go. Your soul is your mind. Your mind gonna go where it know to go. And so these orders still carry on in the daytimes. This is why you see like stars dying and regular people dying. You get my point? Meaning, back when the Hebrews were shepherds, so let's say they had their best animal, they would treat that animal better than the rest, but that animal's gonna be sacrificed. You get my point? Like I said, that person to be sacrificed, or that animal was going to be the animal that was going to be sacrificed, so it would have been treated better than the rest of the flock of the sheep, let's say. And this carried over to men, meaning they would, you know, make stars or whatever you want to call it and treat them better, but these stars was going to serve as sacrifice. I apologize. Let me say that over. And thank you to whoever gave back. And so, like I said, they would sacrifice, the best amongst their flock, whether you talking man or animal. But of course, what's getting sacrificed is being treated better than the rest. And now they get to live kind of a glory before it's sacrificed out. And that's what you see happening in these cities. You got to remember, we like a flock. Oh, domesticated man, no different than the animals. And so they pick amongst the flock, which is the people, and they make whichever ones they do, they make them stars, and they kind of make them have a status above the rest. And it's so they have more worth when they sacrifice them out to the daemon or the constellations. You figure one star got more worth than the whole city of people. So they'll make sure they cause a natural disaster of some sort to wipe out a whole city. But that still ain't worth one famous star. So you get my point? You see stars dying at an all-time high right now. It's because of that. They sacrificing to the daemon, and I don't suppose they feel like they getting what they want. So then they keep sacrificing. They view it like the gods ain't pleased. They want more. And that you got hella stars. The order of status that we live by, this just got to do with like what I said. You got king, prince, knight. You get my point? Let's say on the street level, you got boss, underboss, capo. At your job, you got manager, supervisor, employee. You got these orders because these is orders of sacrifice, meaning the worth of the sacrifice. This is why when you go into any city or Babylon, there's statuses. And these statuses serve for like sacrifice. Remember, everybody that lives in the Babylon, they live under the daemon. And that, do you get my point? Y'all have birthdays and all the things that I'm speaking of. It have to do with the constellations. Whatever you talking about. You get it? They rule over man. Given their, power by, your ancient Hebrews, so to say. And whatever line of people is the ancient Hebrews now, meaning the rulers of the world. They come from the ancient Hebrew line. Black people are not Hebrews. You get my boy? Y'all are lost in stupid shit. But if you grasp what I'm saying, whoever y'all view as ruling the world now, like that. And they're keeping the orders and everything going and keeping the sacrifice going. And it's like I said in past video, this all got to do with Abraham. He was playing around with the demons and all of that. And once you make a pact with the demons, meaning they go realer than that, them constellations have an as above, so below order. Romeo said, do the stars somehow get binded to the daemon after their physical life? You're not listening. I said the constellations are the stars, are the daemon. That's what the Hebrews called them. Y'all are lost in the little kid talk, man. Get the ghosts, the goblins, and ghouls out your brain. Ain't talking about reality right now. He got an image of a demon in his head like a stupid kid. Don't take offense, but grasp what I'm saying. You got an image of a stupid monster or some shit in your head right now, even though I'm explaining to you what it is. You get it? Y'all like that. Y'all are too lost and dumbed down. Snap out of it. Snap out the brainwashing, man. Everything is personified. Because everybody on kid time, I suppose. I don't know, but the daemon and the angels got to do with the constellations. And like I said, the constellations is places for the dead. Now, when you're dealing with them constellations, you have the orders of life. So atoms and stars. This is like a sun. Atoms and stars are the same thing on their levels of life, meaning an atom is a micro solar system. It's a solar system on the micro level. After atoms, you have molecules. A molecule is like a constellation on the micro level. Remember, an atom is a star An atom is a star, and a molecule is a cluster of atoms, or on a solar level, a cluster of stars. You get it? Like that. When you're dealing with drugs, you're dealing with molecules, meaning the constellations are molecules on their level of life, as above, so below. In that, you have the demon seals, which are really drug recipes. And this is how you connect with the spirit, so to say. So it's an alchemy thing. This is why I showed y'all images in the past of different drug. The chemical formula of different drugs are the chemical structure of different drugs. So y'all can see the shape of like cocaine or this thing or that thing. And I show you how it's the same shape as this constellation or that constellation. I still have the images up. You just have to stroll through, but I have images where I showed you multiple different drugs, chemical structure. That's the shape of the drug. I have multiple posts where I show you the shape of the drug and how it match a shape of a constellation that y'all know of. And the Pisces, this thing, that thing, Scorpio. You get my point? And so you have the as above aspect, which is, the astrology and the controlling time and space and all of that. And then you have the alchemical or the alchemy aspect of it, which got to do with the drugs. You mix certain drugs together, the chemical structure of the drug will be the equivalent as the constellation. This is the connection. So like ethanol has a chemical structure. If you look up the chemical structure of ethanol, it's the same as the constellation Sagittarius. And the demon that they call Boer or beer, which is ethanol, that's what beer is made out of. So the demon is called Boer, B-U-E-R, but it's really pronounced beer. If you pay attention to how beer is pronounced, we don't spell it right. It should be spelled B-U-E-R, beer, beer. You get it? Boer is beer. That's one of the demons, meaning the 72 demons of Solomon. One of them name is Boer. He has an image. His image is the same as the chemical structure of ethanol. And ethanol has the same shape or structure as Sagittarius. It's an as above, so below thing. It's like a secret in life, a magic thing. And so this is where they got all the different spells or recipes, you can say. In that, you get my point? They get y'all hooked on the drugs. When you're dealing with the drug substances, you have the antagonist and agonist in the drugs. This is the little entity inside the substance. And this is what binds itself to y'all receptors. And it become one with y'all. You get my point? And that, drugs is a disease, but they call it an addiction to kind of water it down to where people won't get it. But drugs is a disease because disease do the same thing. They bind themselves to your cell receptors and becoming a part of your DNA damn near. And drugs do the same thing. Drugs and alcohol, any substance you could think of. The agonist and the antagonist inside the substance binds itself to your cell's receptors, and you get it? It either activates or deactivates whatever aspect of the cell that it wants. From there, you get my point? Become part of the DNA. Person on drugs, you can get a hair sample, a spit sample, a piss sample. This is their DNA. And the drugs show up in their DNA. And that, you get my point? All the drugs y'all have, this is that ancient alchemy. All the new drugs y'all are getting, lab-made drugs, all that stuff, pharmaceutical drugs, this is all the ancient alchemy, the Hebrew magic. But it started with the stars, like understanding that order, like how I was just explaining it to y'all. And then the as above, so below aspect, that's when you get to the alchemy and understanding the different spells. I actually got a book I'm about to release soon that explains all of this. It has the images and everything, so you get it? And a few spell recipes so you could grasp that, this is real.
Hello.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I'm getting a little cold, y'all. I might have to take this inside. Y'all think I should go to Atlanta tonight? I don't feel like it. Be liking to listen. When you get older, you be getting lazy. I be getting lazy, man. Listen here, man. Y'all gonna have fun. You hear me, big baby? I'm gonna get back. But I always be reminding myself, when you get old, you still gotta stay active. It keeps you from getting old. So what you going to Atlanta for? You don't ever ask no man about his business. You get it? You just answer the damn question, young man. Man, you want to know how many shits I had this morning when I took a shit? You feel me? You don't... Yeah, what you going for? What the fuck, man? Huh? Atlanta's my home. So New York and Atlanta's gonna always be places that I go to, if that makes sense. I went to elementary school in Atlanta. If you live in Atlanta, I went to Glen Haven. And then I went to I didn't go. What's going on? I didn't go to Glen Haven in the 7th grade because in Atlanta the schools go up to the 7th grade. In New York they kind of end in the 5th grade. Then you go to junior high school. But in Atlanta they kind of go to the 7th grade, and from there you go to high school. So I went to Glen Haven and I went to Indian Creek, which is kind of like right around the corner somewhat. And then I went to Towers High School from like 8th grade all the way up. You get my point, to like 11th. And it's crazy because I went to John F. Kennedy High in New York City from 9th grade to 11th too. Crazy, right? Said, dude, there's a person drowning. Shut up, nigga. That's a buoy.
Where you get this from?
Huh?
Where you get this from? That how much was it?
Lorenzo, what the hell are you took that so deep, right? What the hell are you talking about, man? Don't nobody care about that shit. It's so deep. Don't nobody care about how your last name is pronounced, blood, and where it came from. We talking about demons and angels, man. The fuck you? That's so deep, right? We talk about God, demon, and angels. What is you talking about, man? Why is you including yourself in this conversation like you were part of the orders? Yeah, Bucus. Nigga, what? Is you one of the demons, man? Blood, if you ain't one of the demons, man, cut it out. Confusing me. Confusing everybody. Blood trying to throw himself in here as the 73rd demon. Yes, me, Bucus. Nigga, you ain't got nothing to do with the demons, my boy. Stop it. I was the 77th demon, Bucus. Pronounce Bukes. Fuck out of here with all of that, man. No, they ain't trying to hear that. They trying to get this wisdom about the demons controlling the whole life. And you trying to break down your name. Hey, y'all, pronounce my last name, Bucus. Listen here, Butkus. We ain't... You see how I slid that in there? Listen here, Butkus. We ain't even... Y'all lucky. Y'all get deep wisdom and good laughs if you ain't emotionally broken down. And so y'all make sure y'all have some fun, but grasp what I'm saying. Because, a lot of these things got to get, fixed. But basically, they put all these drugs and alcohols and things in the store because you get it? Drugs and alcohol is a disease. And you get my point? They can't depend on the diseases that they spread all over the place. The drug diseases is more, they work better than like STDs and those other diseases. Meaning when a person on drugs, they usually on that thing till they die. The cokehead been on coke since 14. They probably gonna be on coke till they die. Maybe a few kick the habit, but overall, most people that you see on drugs, they gonna be on it till they die. If the drug is extreme, you get my point? The person on heroin, they gonna be on heroin till it take them to their lows and they die. It's gonna last longer than a disease would last. You get my point? Magic Johnson got AIDS, blood chilling, but the dope fiend, you get it? His hands, feet all fat, and you get it? It's real. But they water it down. They change, they change slave into citizen. Water things down. Y'all get a different perspective of it. And that y'all don't look at it from the extreme that it is. And you get it? Through those alchemies, they control y'all on a cosmic level. Man, we ain't talking about street drugs only. We talking about pharmaceutical drugs. Y'all on Ozempic. When you dealing with the drugs that got to do with losing weight, man, they taking aspects of drugs like crack and things like that. And they taking the weight loss properties from these kind of drugs. And you get it? Making a chemical synthetic, and y'all on Ozempic, and y'all really just on crack. A person on Ozempic or a person on any kind of like steroid type of drugs, they have like withdrawal symptoms that's worse than any drug person you could think of. You get my point? Meaning if you a woman and you ever dated a man on steroids, that nigga mood swings and he's worse than the cokehead. He's way more like unstable than your normal organic drug addict when they're going through their withdrawals. Those of y'all on pharmaceutical drugs are like, you know, steroid type drugs, weight gain, weight loss, diet kind of drugs. And they have more effect than, the organic drugs. Organic drugs is like anything that come from a plant, like coke, heroin. Weed is a plant. Now y'all have their different potency levels, you can say. Meaning all the plants that we have, they medicinal. Even the food ones, but they all have different levels of potency. So the food plants is drugs too. Y'all get addicted to food, but it's not as potent as the drug plants. Food plants ain't as potent as the drug plants, but both are medicinal. Then you got poisonous plants. They medicinal as well. They just high in potency where to kill you. So you'd have to either dilute the poisonous plants for them to be medicinal, and the drug plants is just regular medicinal. Like, they can be used for medicine. The food plants, they can be used for medicine too, but you get my point? They ain't as potent as the drug ones. So all the plants of the world is basically just different potency levels of medicines, you can say. And of course, if you abuse them, you're going to get, what you get. But understanding that orders, it's the beginnings of the alchemy. Then all of these plants, all of these drugs are going to fall into light and dark. Like y'all say, the light gets you hype, and and the brown bring you down in regards to liquor. Well, that's what they used to say in my day. The light liquor gonna bring you, get you hype, and the dark liquor or the brown liquor gonna bring you down. So they used to say the light gonna get you hype, and the brown gonna bring you down. Basically saying Hennessy gonna bring you down, and some Ciroc gonna bring you up. Like it's gonna get you hyped up. And all the drugs fall like that though, light and dark. Cocaine is white, it's light, and they be all hyped up. Weed is like dark green, so it's dark to bring you down, like the mood. All the drugs fall into that, light and dark. This is your light and dark magic. And you get my point? From there, I put a spell on the person. Think like K2 and all the new drugs these kids be taking. They be talking to theyself, bugging out, wearing trench coat bubbles in the summer. In 90 degrees, they got on a whole bubble coat with a fur collar. I mean, with a fur hood on it. Like that. There's drugs out here that make the body freezing. It wouldn't matter what the outer temperature is. You got drugs that'll make y'all float. They just ain't put it out yet. Used to be out in the past, so when witches used to be flying around. That's a drug they on. The same way y'all got drugs will make y'all wear a whole winter coat and you ain't sweating or nothing though, you freezing. But everybody else hot. When you're dealing with the alchemy, or the different mixtures of the drugs and the results, oh, it get real strange. So this is why they ban like witchcraft. That's what sorcery or this alchemy would have been labeled. It's witchcraft. And they banned it in the past and now they put it back on the society. In the past, everybody had their wisdom of the plants. So you get it? They banned it. Kind of like how they took all the plants, foods from y'all and make y'all go to the supermarket. And that y'all don't think about planting. Well, until I brought it up like 8-9 years ago. Y'all wasn't thinking about planting and growing y'all own food and none of that. Y'all was thinking about getting businesses and black-owned business. And you get it? Like that. They took the drug plants and all these things away from y'all, banned that whole practice. And that, y'all forget about it and then get re-hooked back on these, old evils. And go to the grocery store, buy your liquor, whatever the case may be, not truly understanding what these is. These is your spells, your elixirs. Different mixtures of different chemicals, whether drug or not. But you get it? They have their results. And of course, it goes deeper and deeper. I'm cold right now, so I'm trying to get my mind. I'm kind of losing, my train of thought. But if y'all have any questions, ask before I depart. Like I said, I'm getting a little chilly, man. I got to go. But it was nice talking to y'all. Vuclair said, so if you got HIV and AIDS, you alright. Champ, I'm done with you. Makes sense when you talk. I ain't got time for stupid shit. I don't even want to entertain it. I'm laughing at you, Lorenzo. He cursed Romeo Akbar. Told him, blood, stop worrying about my name before I go in your mouth and all that. That's how you gotta handle certain people. I ain't tripping. You good here, baby. He was riding you. You had to do what you had to do. He was riding you. You had to put him down. I feel you. Good going. Stay strong like that. You feel me? You feel me? Don't be letting nobody play with you more than you want to play. Now I'm about to depart. Like I said, if y'all have any questions, y'all can ask now. Otherwise, go eat me some supper and think about, if I want to take this journey. I'm giving you guys a moment to see if any of y'all have a question and you typing or something before I slide out. If you got anything out of this video, be sure to click the description. My links are there. You can give back monetarily, opportunity-wise, whatever. However, you can. Just don't come here as an abuser. Yeah, I'm about to end this. Y'all going back and forth with each other about foolishness, man. Wisdom is more important than bickering. And so, like I said, maybe y'all have to listen to this video again and get all the jewels out of it. But try to, be mindful of the things I said, especially if you black, because you feel me? They got psychological games going on us where we going, bring about our own demise, which we already have started on. And you get my point? If you paying attention, we not too far from what I'm talking about, where, we have separation in our race beyond what y'all can fathom. You have the little kids against the adults, the women against the men, and every fabric of anything you could think of that have to do with unity amongst us. You get it? It's already psychologically embedded for us to be separated, even in ways we can't even fathom. And so you get my point. The mother gonna be against son, son against mother, father and daughter, father and son, like every aspect you could think of, and it's all psychological. Meaning most black people hate towards one another ain't even got nothing to do with nothing. It's just stupid. It's like a spell almost. And so you get my point. They planted their seeds a long time ago. A lot of them are harvesting now. And you get it? The things that are being done now is for later. It's to harvest like 3-4 generations down the line for us. So we got to get up on our job, in regards to like monitoring over our own. Like I said, we need our own place where we could kind of separate ourselves from, every race and kind of get our shit together, get our mind back straightened out. Because all the tricks and all the tricks and psychological attacks are being reinforced daily. So me telling y'all this don't really mean nothing, because once y'all get off this video, then y'all gonna go right back into all the psychological attacks, which is all other content online where you're gonna see black people doing exactly what I said in some form or fashion. Even the ones you really admire and like a lot. If you look through the cracks, you're gonna see like, damn, they is falling into exactly what Salah said, and it's all emotional, like, and that, you get my point. It don't even matter. They reinforcing it daily, all day, and somebody speaking against it here, there, ain't going, you get it, break that frequency. That's why I said, at some point we got to get our own country and separate ourselves for a time just to get our brains and everything together, get our true nature and our true culture back, instilled in us. The kid got to know their family and their culture before they step out into the world. Otherwise, they gonna get lost in everything in the world. And that's how we are for the most part. We don't know ourselves. We think finding a nation of people that already was is finding ourselves. We don't understand coming together and finding who we are on a real level. Not seeking out a name to identify us, but finding out who we are as a people and correcting the flaws. And you get it? Naming ourselves or not naming ourselves wouldn't matter. If a person got a name or don't got a name, they still exist and they are who they are and they known. And so I'm speaking on those levels of things. I ain't speaking about seeking out a nationality and none of the foolish things that have been being done. But I'm speaking about stepping up and we doing real grown up shit that should have been done. Which is swapping all that nonsense out of here and really getting down to who we are. Who we are is not a name. People not born out of lands. People are born out of vaginas. And that who we are ain't got to do with a place. We looking to claim a place. We from Africa. We from here. We from near. We from the vaginas of the black women, and they migrate around wherever they want. But more than that, you get my point? We ain't born out of the ground. So we don't got to claim no ground. All the ground is for everybody to move about how they choose. We looking at find nationalities based on the names of different places. But we ain't named none of these places, so none of that don't matter. It's just a reflection of the brainwashing that was instilled in us. Somebody tell you a African, a Hebrew, this or that. They telling you the systematics. Again, we didn't name none of these places, and all the names that we have, they come from the place. Puerto Rico, you get Puerto Ricans. You get my point? African, you get Africans. I mean, in Africa, you got Africans, but the people are named after whatever the place is named. And the places are colonized and named by whoever colonized them. And then the people become the flock of that place. You get it? In that, they take on the name. And us freeing ourselves and us finding who we are is us coming out of all of these stupid things. You get it? These fake religions, these fake nationality parties, and all of this goofy shit. Like I said, who we are ain't got nothing to do with nothing that ain't got to do with us. You basically saying somebody could come here, take over the place, name it what they want, and we got to just go with whatever name they give us. And we don't. Let another Babylon monkey do that. And I know y'all got popular teachers out there and people y'all admire a lot, and they fall right under what I'm saying, where you like, well, this person said that we was African. Well, you got a brain. How about you more awake than whoever you listening to? And that's really the problem. And see, most of y'all get what I'm saying, but you peer pressured out. And that y'all don't realize, man. Y'all wiser than the teachers y'all follow. Or they either sold your ass out. If you could get something and they can't. They either playing dumb and they get it crystal clear. And that's a reflection of that they sold us out. Or they either really fucking dumb and you smarter than them. In that, what are we doing? But like I said, we need to be working towards getting our own country, or at least a big enough space where enough of us can kind of go and cleanse out from all this Babylonian nonsense that's all in our brain. And so when black people get serious, those of y'all that, you know, do have some influence and things like that, maybe you come and get with me. Because I already got everything already written out and ordered out. And add on whatever you need to add on. And let's get to what need to be done. Because our generations to come. Well, you feel? We ain't got that many generations left. I say 2 or 3 at most. Meaning whoever's 6 years old right now, maybe they have offspring. But I doubt they offspring gonna be having offspring. Not with black people. And that black's gonna get breeded out into another race. And this happened before. And so, take heed to the things I'm saying. Even if you a famous teacher of some sort and you come to realize what I'm saying is right and you've been teaching wrong, don't let your ego fuck us up. Because that's what's happening. Y'all got people that's teaching that's not wise as others. And you get it? Because they got pride and they feel like slave masters somewhat, where they kind of own a little flock of their own. You get my point? We be selling our own out just for a little attention and a whole bunch of cheap shit. So it's like I said, we be having like cheesy ass fucking goals and cheesy ass hate and low budget everything with us. And so we got to start thinking bigger, man. We got to start thinking country, resources, and not individual. Individual can't do nothing. That's why we got to think country, because that's enough for everybody. And everybody working together is when you gonna see magic. And that's what every race is deterred from doing. Truly working all the way together like a tribe. They take the tribe, break the tribe up, civilize them out, and you get my point? They never want to see them back in that state again, especially not civilized. Can you imagine a civilized tribe? Meaning a tribe being taught how to be civil, but never being brought into Babylon. Just being taught how to build, do wood, and all of these different things that we know in Babylon, but never being brought into Babylon. And so they still got their original culture, their original language, and their morals that they live by, which is the tribe before anything. And every person in the tribe will die for the tribe itself before they sell it out. That's how it is with them tribal people. They will all die before, you get my point? Before they will let the tribe get taken. They would rather die. We not like that no more. And so you get my point? It all starts there. You're separating ourselves, and you get my point? Getting real knowledge put back into the mind. And get the morals and the values together. Make sure the kids is learning the things they supposed to learn, like balance and things like that. Go ahead, Pop. Something, man. Like I said, learning balance and different things like that, and brotherhood, and you get it? Emotional control, because this is what make us snake each other out. Getting lost in our emotions, like envy and whatever other bitternesses and loss. We got to learn how to take loss. A loser got a problem with losing. A winner don't. And that's what separates a winner and a loser. One can't accept loss and the other one can. A real winner ain't worried about loss. Life is a balance. They wins gonna outweigh they losses, so they don't care. They got room for a loss here and there. But a loser ain't got no wins. Just loss. You get my point? You ain't got no wins to stand on. A loss gonna kill you more than anything. And so we got to learn how to start getting wins, and you get it? Getting back confident, and I don't know. Y'all know what I mean, I suppose, or maybe y'all don't. But through y'all hating all those low things, I'm sure y'all get what I'm saying. And so it ain't never gonna be everybody, but a good amount is enough. And say it's 1 million black people. 1 million black people ain't never gonna do that, but maybe 100,000 of us, 200,000 of us do. And that still make for new generations to come. Maybe it's 1 million blacks and only 200,000 do what I say. But them 200,000 gonna survive the whole race, because them 800,000 gonna die out and mixed breed themselves out. And lose they self. Which is what the psychology is all about. Meaning the psychological attacks on us, it's all about that. And that, you know. Try and grasp. Now I'm sliding out. Hopefully you all grasp that. Hopefully y'all work on y'all emotional state and mind. Do some of the exercises I told y'all about. Any of y'all suffering with addictions, you know, real bad addictions, exercise, sweat. Of course you addicted to something, so you probably mad stagnant. You don't like to get up or do nothing really. Just get high. Work out. Work up a sweat. You get my point? Balance it out. It's better than nothing. It's better than going all the way down, and you use your working out to get you back active, you know, and talking to people and things like that, and that will help you to get off whatever addiction you got, because the addiction gonna make you start to isolate yourself out. Then you're gonna stop doing shit. So you gotta counter that by the opposite. I mean, you need to be around people and you need to be active, but you gotta start where you gotta start. You get my point? And that, maybe you wake up and you get yourself on a little exercise routine where you working up a sweat. What's up, man? Where you working up a little sweat. Maybe you do one at night. Maybe you get somebody to work out with, so it's easier for you to do it. From there, you know, start using some of the practices I be teaching y'all about. Learn and meditate and focus on the present moment and things like that, and try to come into the consciousness. But, you know, that's far from where y'all are now. You could just focus on, you know, simple things like stretching and working out. Give yourself a goal. I want to do a split within 6 months. And every day you stretch towards a split for 10 minutes a day. By 30 days, you'll be doing a split. But you know, give yourself as much time as you need, because you probably ain't going to do it every day until you get on that cycle of that flow. And so Everything's simple in life. It's all balance. And lose the balance, I lose the self. Now I'm gone. Salam.